The Chinese would not be able to have Chinatown without black people.
I just want to take a moment to recognize all of the brilliant black inventors out there who have made our world significantly better.
Melanin on the physical plane, sure, they taught us that it helps with pigment and skin pigment and things like that, but on a spiritual plane, it can hold light. It can hold light. So the more melanin you have, the more light you can hold and the more power you have. And so that's why a lot of these indigenous nations, okay, in Africa, all over the world really, in Native America, right, and all over the world, these indigenous cultures have been systematically on purpose persecuted.
And what everyone needs to understand is that black people are the earth. Black people are the only unmutated humanity.
Because black women will be running shit in the future. And those women are going to be in the front line of running shit for this country.
And even back then, Chinese people hated you, black man.
Now, what you are hearing here is something we don't often see. I mean, people from different backgrounds are openly talking about, you know, the influence, the achievements, and the potential which is in black people. Now, whether they're discussing black inventors, you know, the importance of melanin, the future of black women, and the contribution of black communities, I think there's one thing which is clear. More people are recognizing conversations that, you know, have often been overlooked. But this video brings together these different perspectives all in one place. Now, these are only short clips. I think that's the crazy part. But coming up, you will hear full context, you know, behind every statement. Why is it that, you know, these Asians are disrespectful to black people, yet black people have contributed, you know, much that, you know, these Asians are benefiting until today? What exactly is it? So yeah, this video includes discussions about black excellence, history, spirituality, and the future. So stay with me until the end, because you don't need to miss what is happening, what is coming in this video. I will see you at the end for more discussion. If this is your first time, please subscribe so we can have more of this.
And even back then, Chinese people hated you, black man, black woman. And let me tell you something. The Chinese would not be able to have Chinatown without black people. The Chinese would not be able to have the Chinese community, the Chinese restaurant, the nail stores, the hair supply stores, without the hard work and sacrifices and suffering of the black community. But do the Chinese people appreciate what we have done? No. You come here and align yourself. You join white supremacy. You come here and you act like you are white people. You Chinese people, God is against you too. God is against you.
I just want to take a moment to recognize all of the brilliant black inventors out there who have made our world significantly better. We have black inventors to thank for things like the escalator, the elevator, the cell phone, and white people. That's right. A brilliant scientist named Yakub invented white people just over 6,000 years ago. We have black people to thank for our very existence. And we can thank black people too for inventing hockey. They made that for us. So let's take it to the streets and give thanks and praise.
Melanin on the physical plane, sure, they taught us that it helps with pigment and skin pigment and things like that, but on a spiritual plane, it can hold light. It can hold light. So the more melanin you have, the more light you can hold and the more power you have. And so that's why a lot of these indigenous nations, okay, in Africa, all over the world really, in Native America, right, and all over the world, these indigenous cultures have been systematically on purpose persecuted. Because through not only through the melanin and their ability to hold light, they were guardians of certain lands. It's what's underneath the land. So a lot of people think like, oh, the war for Iraq is for oil. But it's not just for oil. That's what they tell you on the news. Underneath the earth, there's very important portals. And whoever controls these portals controls the energy that flows in and out of Mother Earth. Some people call them stargates. So these indigenous were protectors, and they had melanin, and they were able to hold the light, and they had specific codes which were protectors of certain lands. But that's why, if you want to say, you know, Columbus and all these other, the history books will tell you one thing, but no, they were really coming to like take the land of the indigenous and to take the protectors of the land out of the land, right? And to control what's underneath the earth. Melanin.
Right, racist. Let's talk about the truth. There is so much discourse lately about who is native and who is indigenous, and even the nerve to bring up who is the architect of soul food. And what everyone needs to understand is that black people are the earth. Black people are the only unmutated humanity. They told you humans came from Africa like it was a migration story. But that's not the truth. The truth is, Africa is the first face of the earth. And blackness is the source of all biology. Everyone else? Genetic drift, mutational echo, survival glitches adapted to ice and exile. Let's talk origins. The black woman is the womb of the world. Forget the Eve in the garden story. That was a stolen metaphor. The real Eve lives in the woman's mitochondria. And not just any women. Melanin-rich, thick-hipped, thick-lipped, and copper-toned. Elegant, poised, literally perfect, planet-rooted black women. White women don't carry the full ancestral genome. Asian, Mexican, and Native women only carry fragments. Black women carry the total code. She doesn't reproduce diversity. She births the whole species. When small African offshoot groups migrated north, they weren't evolving. They were mutating, adapting to survival, not thriving. That's where lighter skin, narrow nostrils, reduced melanin, and behavioral changes began. All signs of environmental stress, not superiority. You don't get white by evolving. You get white by forgetting the sun. And that forgetting is not advancement. It's regression. The white genome contains 1 to 4% Neanderthal DNA. Let me repeat, they didn't just descend from humans. They were cavemen. Black people have 0 Neanderthal admixture. That's not a joke. That's biology. Black people are the originals. Non-black people are the remix. The problem is, the remix decided to express its evil nature by attempting to erase the original track. Let's talk indigenous. The term indigenous was invented by settlers to decide who was native enough to be managed, named, and displaced. But indigenous is a political term, not a genetic one. And political terms can't overwrite blood memory. Being first on the continent does not make you first on the planet. However, black people being first on the planet means they are first on every continent. The black genome is Earth's source code. Everyone else is just running a copy of their biological operating system. The war against black genetics is a war against humanity. Melanin isn't pigment, it's the processor. It's the molecule that translates solar energy into life. Plants have it, animals have it, humans need it. Black people have the highest concentration of it, which means black people don't just live on Earth, they translate it. They are not just a race, they are the root species. Black isn't a color, it's the motherboard. Every other group, adaptations, mutations, and mistakes. This isn't supremacy. This is truth. Black people didn't come from Africa. Africa came from black people.
Y'all remember those women that got fired? Black women? 300,000 black women were fired from tech jobs around the United States. I want to say that there's a reason why all of these things are happening, and it's for their greater good. God is working with those women because black women will be running shit in the future. And those women are going to be in the front line of running shit for this country. God is pushing them to be creative and to pick up on their dreams and desires. God did that, not Trump or Microsoft or the white man. God did that. Because we are coming to a point where black women will be in the forefront of everything you can possibly think of. And he is preparing those 300,000 intelligent women to go for their purpose that they originally came to Earth and God gave them to do. That is what is going to take place. So we don't have to look at it as being racist or racism is the reason why those 300 and it is racism is the reason why everything is taking place, but also racism is the reason why black people are getting their shit together. It's forcing us to do the things that we weren't going to do, but it's forcing us to do the things that we came here to do. We didn't come here to play small. We didn't come here to play small. Everything needed to be shaken up. We needed to fall flat on our faces to get where we have to be spiritually. It's the desire that is inside of your bones, your purpose in life. is the reason why things had to be shaken up the way that Trump is shaking them up. He is not the devil, but he is, from a spiritual perspective, the ally, in a sense. You have to look at it this way. He is showing his hand at how racist and fucked up he can be towards black people, because the only way we're going to move is to have things drastically taken from us in order to make change. And that's exactly what is happening to the world. Isn't it beautiful? We are preparing ourselves through hardship, through death and rebirth, through fucked up trials and tribulations. We are preparing ourselves for something so divine and so blissful to run the world. It's going to take a lot of brokenness, heartbreak, failures, unfortunately, lives, because eventually you're going to get tired, because that's exactly what Trump is here to do, to make people feel the burning sensation that is inside of their hearts, to say enough is enough. He's here to show you that. He was like, well, they ain't tired yet. Let's put this on them. Let's do this to them. Let's take them here. Let's do all of the shenanigans. We haven't broken their spirits yet. Let's do more, so they can finally wake up and see who the fuck they really are. That's what he's doing. Waking you up, putting you through as much hardship as you can possibly be faced with, putting your face to the concrete, because there's nowhere else to go and nowhere else to look but up. And that's what he had to do in order to make you change. Not only him, that's what the system had to do in order to make you come back into your powers, in order to give you back your land, in order to put you in the forefront, in order to hand you all the necessary tools to build your empire again. That's what's happening to the 300,000 black women that got fired. Thank God they got fired, because now they can focus and lead by faith, because I know that's what they're going to do. They're so intelligent and beautiful, and they're here to bring forth their dreams, desires, which is the purpose that God gave them. And now they can fulfill it, because they couldn't fulfill it in those roles under white supremacy. They couldn't do it. They could not. Now they have nothing but time. And I know, because they're so smart, they're okay financially. And even if they're not, if they're following what God has given them in their hearts to do, as far as it is entrepreneurship-wise, they're going to be just fine. God is going to give them everything they need for them to be leaders for their community, to bring forth more leaders. That's what's happening. So we can't look down or be sad about the events that are taking place, because they're only here to build us up. They're only here to bring us back into divine order, where we were always before white supremacy even was thought of. We were always here doing the damn thing. And now it's time for us to take our power back. Now it's time for us to get back in that seat of kingdom. Our destiny is here. It's here. And it's going to be so amazing to see black people back in the seat of power, back in the seat of control. And because we are so beautiful, heart-led people, we don't have any animosity. We're going to run things the way that they're supposed to be ran, with equality, justice, compassion, and love. That's where we're headed. And each person is going to bring forth just, I don't know, I get butterflies just thinking about it. So much beauty in the world, because black people are going to be running the shit. It's just going to be beautiful. But anyway, so those 300,000 women, we don't have to worry about them. They're so smart. They've got everything under control. They just need to sit quiet and follow their heart and the desire that God gave them. And the rest is going to be history. All right, you guys take care. I hope you were able to understand what I was trying to convey. All right, bye.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Now, let's talk about it. You see, after watching this one, I think there's one thing which is clear. Black people are superpower. I mean, whether people agree with every claim being made in this video or they don't agree, it's okay. But I think we cannot ignore the confidence. We cannot ignore the pride, the appreciation being made in this video. Because, you know, these are not just black people telling their own stories. Sometimes when somebody tells his own story and that story looks sweet, we may look like, oh, they're just, you know, exaggerating because it's their story. But, you know, we're talking of Asians, we're talking of white people admiring, appreciating what is in black people. And that's why we have to begin with this comment. I like it. Look at it. It says, people wouldn't have oxygen if it were not for black people. The stars would not have space if it were not for black people. The sun would never have formed if it's not for black people. Now, I mean, that comment is obviously meant as, you know, dramatic expression of admiration, but it simply shows just how, you know, passionately some people feel about the value, the importance of black people, like, you know, the magic which is, you know, the beauty which is in black people. And throughout this video, you can hear people from different backgrounds, different skin colors talking about black people in ways that, you know, many viewers may not be like used to hearing. So yeah, let's look at the major points being raised in this video. Don't forget to also share what you think is a point that was supposed to be included in this video, and I'll greatly appreciate it. Can you do that in this video? And if you like this video so far, you enjoy what is happening in this video, please drop a like. Otherwise, let's talk about the points. The first point is that there is the discussion about melanin. What exactly is it? You see, one speaker in the video argues that melanin is much more, you know, than, you know, skin pigment, claiming it carries a spiritual significance and connects people to greater power. And whether you accept that idea or you don't accept, it's okay. But it is one of the biggest, you know, talking points in this compilation, in this video. And it explains why the speaker believes that the black people have been targeted throughout history. So yeah, I think it makes sense. Because, you know, sometimes when you try to connect the dots, like, why black people everywhere are like, you know, segregated, you know, black people everywhere, they're exploited. Why? Because, yeah, I think there has to be something in black people. Now, the second thing, the second point being expressed is the conversation about, you know, black achievement and innovation. Now, let's talk about it. Now, in the video, one speaker takes time to, you know, celebrate black inventors, you know, pointing to invention and the contributions that have helped shape, you know, modern society, you know, the inventions that are still being used today. Now, some of the historical claims made in that, you know, in that section are widely accepted, while others, yeah, they may be controversial. Let's also look at that. But the central message remains the same. The speaker wants people to recognize black excellence, you know, as something that has often been overlooked. So I think that makes sense. The third thing is about, yeah, in the video, we also hear the emotional discussion about, you know, black communities and economic influence. That's like the third thing. Now, in the video, one speaker argues that many successful businesses have benefited from, you know, spending, from labor, from sacrifices of black communities. Now, the message is that black consumers and black communities have contributed enormously to, you know, the growth of many neighborhoods and the industries. We're talking of Asians, as somebody, you know, made that, you know, there wouldn't be Asian towns if it were not for black people, right? There were not going to be Asian communities if it were not for black people. Somebody made that. So trying to acknowledge, you know, the sacrifice, the effort that black people did, you know, while others are just benefiting from that. Unfortunately, in return, these people are only benefiting from the efforts of black people, but instead of appreciating, instead of saying thank you, you know, they are racist to black people, they are anti-black, you know, they segregate black people, they don't take them as humans. That's so unfortunate. But whether people agree with every conclusion being made in this video, but I think it's something that raises bigger conversation about economic power, you know, community support, and you know, who exactly benefits from it when the whole community fights a certain battle, who exactly benefits. Now, the fourth thing is about the black women in this video. Okay, it's about black women. One speaker also believes that the recent hardships faced by, many black women, including job losses, the trauma could become the beginning of something much greater. Now, the argument is that the difficult moments can push people toward leadership, toward creativity, entrepreneurship, purpose, it can give them more chances to think and establish something. So I think it's a message of resilience, of believing that the setbacks can become opportunities. And finally, there is a broader theme, running through this entire compilation in this video. Every speaker in one way or the other is encouraging black people to value themselves, believe in their potential, and stop underestimating what they can achieve. Even other people should never underestimate what black people are, what they can achieve, and what exactly is in them. Now, you might agree with every statement or you may not agree, but I think you may disagree with some of them. It's okay, but I think there is one thing which is like certain in this video. This video is guaranteed to start, conversations. So don't judge these clips from the short previews alone, please. Let's watch, videos like this in full before we go to conclusions, because those people are making, claims, are making, statements that when you connect the dots, you'll be like, yeah, this is true. I think there is indeed something that is in black people. So yeah, this conversation, I think it's not far from over. I don't know what your take is, but for me, I believe there is power in black people. Sure, I really believe. So let me know your thought down in the comment section, and I'll greatly appreciate to read your comment. Otherwise, I will see you next time. If this is your first time, please subscribe for more of this.